There we go. Couldn't figure out why I wasn't showing up. Apparently I forgot to actually add my video and audio. So, hello. Let's get there we go, little chat thing up here. Welcome. It says I have a viewer. So, hello. How are you today? Let me know where you're tuning in from. If you are catching the replay, let me know that too. I know not everybody is able to log on for the live videos. So I did end up telling a story over on Instagram. So while the notification for the live video is going out and the reminders and everything, I'm just going to tell a story. So my kids, hey Gail, yay! So the story, my kids are all virtual, and the elementary kids at the start of all of their Zoom lessons, they say the Pledge of Allegiance and then they sing the national anthem. And today I almost lost it. At the end, and like they unmute themselves when they are singing the national anthem. So my son is singing and it's so cute and everything. I'm like, aw. And he goes, and the home of the brave. Drivers, start your engines. Just yells it on the Zoom in front of the class and the teachers. And I'm just sitting there trying to hold it together. So yeah, that was fun. Ruth is here too. Hey. So this is going to be a this or that type of a chat video because I figured might as well play some games. Also, I had a busy day, so I did not put on makeup today. So hopefully it's not, oh my gosh, the chapters are kind of weird. Whatever. So I have a bunch of this or that questions already lined up to ask everybody. So I'll put something, Nellie, hey, I will put up a this or that question and feel free to answer in the chat. Let me know which one. So it's going to be just two options. So it should be fun. Oh, thank you, Gail. Oh, I got to get used to popping everything up over here. I usually don't wear makeup because I just don't always have time for that. Like, I don't mind makeup. It's not that I have something terribly against it, but I just don't have time for it. So, yeah, kids are ridiculous. Some of the things that his class particularly, because I mostly sit next to him listening to what all the first graders are saying. And some of the things are just really funny. And for the most part, he has to stay on mute the whole time. So when I do randomly laugh, it's not actually heard. Ooh. My husband got DoorDash and I turned off the light out front. Oops. I did that well before he ordered. Okay. So, okay, let's start with something that is probably kind of obvious. So I'm Coffee Planner Mom. So coffee or tea? Let me know what you prefer. I love both, but coffee all the way. I usually will drink tea to just kind of like unwind at the end of a day, but coffee is life. I drink 2 cups in the morning, and then I always have an afternoon cup too. So what about you all? Are you coffee or do you prefer tea? And also, what is your favorite like flavors? Not flavors, but whoa, a ton of comments just popped up all at once. So we've got Holly. So that's cheating. I mean, like I said, I like both too, but I keep like wheeling all over the place. I'm trying to get comfortable. I do like both too, but if I had to pick one or the other, I would definitely be team coffee. Gail is team coffee too. Coffee is life. It really is. Holly is both. So like everybody seems, for the most part, seems to not have anything against tea. It's just coffee. Coffee. So, yeah. Now, also, like I said, feel free if you have any this or that questions, put it in the chat. I just kind of want to have some fun and have everybody talking. So we did the coffee. Let's do a planner question. I actually have a few planner questions. So the first, and remember, it's this or that. So we have coiled / hardbound or discs and rings. So I put it in like this way because like for coiled and hardbound, like you kind of can change things around for coiled, but definitely not a hardbound. But for the most part, like the way that a coiled planner is done, like coiled and hardbound, you can't change it. Whereas with discs and rings, you can really change everything up. So I am a disc person, but I wanted to kind of keep them together. So what about all of you? What are you using? Are you using coiled? Are you using discs? So which of those two is your favorite? And I'm probably going to end up getting another bombardment of like all comments all at once again because nothing is loading. But yeah, so I definitely, and this was hard because like doing it this way, I kind of had to leave TNs out of it. But yeah, so there we go. Yep, and now they're starting to pop up. So we have Holly is discs and rings, and Ruth is discs and rings, Nellie's discs, Gail's discs. Okay, so yeah, we're like all on the same page here. Let's see, what is the next one? Oh, this next one, I've seen it like really escalate in the planner community. Blue ink or black ink? Like these are some hard-hitting questions that I've got right now. Blue ink pens or black ink pens? Now, you could be a multicolored rainbow person. I've got a bunch of colorful flare pens, which honestly, those are so old, they're probably all dried out. My Papermate Ink Joys are probably a little bit better, but I don't really use them. I am a black ink person. And Gail too. My mom was always a blue ink person, and I never quite liked it, and I couldn't really figure out, there we go. I couldn't really figure out why I didn't like her pens. But then once I realized that black ink was an option, I remember going to Rite Aid the one day with her and seeing that there were black ink pens. And I'm like, and I was like 7, something like that. And so I've been team black ink since I was 7 years old. Let's see. That's funny, black, but I do use all of the flare pens. When I first started planning, I used to coordinate my flare pens to the color scheme of my planner spread. Let me see if I can. Okay. This is my very first Happy Planner. This was an 18-month planner, 2016 to 2017. Let's see. Oh my God. So I just happened to open it up to our Disney vacation spread, but you can see I did red and black. Let me see. Oh, okay, here's a better one where I color coordinated. Oh, there's no personal information, is there? Hold on. Here we go. Okay. There's a baby shower address. But yeah, I have blue over here because I had blue here, and I use a caramel type color because I use that in the stickers, and gold, and I had purple. I really went hard with color coordinating, and I think, yeah, it looks like I still did the color coordinating. Even here's a Christmas spread. So I went all the way through this year. I don't know when I stopped color coordinating my pens. What is Ruth saying? Black, it goes with everything exactly. It really does. And now I have so many Simply Gilded gel pens. I also occasionally use the Papermate gel pen in my my recipe planner, but for the most part, this cup is almost exclusively Simply Gilded. I don't know why I bothered. What's Nellie saying? Black, but I've been trying to color coordinate with the color schemes since somehow my black Flair pens disappear all the time. Oh. One time, back when I was still doing that, so it was 2017. Yeah. So it was 2017. We were doing some renovations for the house, and I had my Flair pens, like 2, 3 of them, like the color coordinated ones that I was using that week, on my kitchen table. And the contractor took one of the Flair pens because he needed to scribble down a note, and he went outside with my pen and left my pen outside on the deck in the middle of summer. I'm still bitter about that. Oh, that was your first Happy Planner? I love that. It was the dividers that really got me for this one. Like, and I took out, because I bought it in November of that year, so I took out the first half. But, like, it was all, I think this one was called Picture Quotes. So, like, all of the dividers were, were pictures. This one's so pretty with the gold foiling. I love foil. I love it. I love it shiny. And then after that, I got the, whatever one had the constellations. Oh, and now I just had a slew of more. It's like the comments are coming up in my chat box over here in like batches. So if you comment and I don't reply immediately and like acknowledge you, it's because it's not showing up. More color pens in my Faith planner because I don't stick. Yeah, and that's another good thing about using colorful pens is that if you're not doing a whole lot of like stickering, so the colorful pens and the highlighters, the colorful highlighters, they can really help to decorate a spread. Okay, that's Instagram. Tamika's here. You have on your chipmunk shirt. I do. Ella's back. We saw her the other day. And she's been back for a little while. The other day, my husband and I were standing outside after getting the mail, but we didn't feel like going in yet because it was really beautiful. And he still had some time left on his lunch break, so we were outside talking. And like just past him, I looked, hi Pepper, and I just saw her poke her little head up from behind the drain. So I'm like, Ella! I was so excited to see her. And the dividers made you get it too. Yeah, the dividers were just stunning. Let's see, where are we? Okay, so here's a little bit of a deeper question. It is halfway through the week, and you never decorated your weekly spread. Do you back plan and put down stickers for the days that you're missing, or do you just start from whatever day it is and move on? So let's say it's Wednesday, and you never decorated it. Do you go back and decorate that spread? So here's what I do, because this happened to me in my social media planner the one week where I didn't lay down my stickers and I didn't really use my weekly spread so much because I also have a daily insert too that I use. So I didn't decorate the weekly spread. I was using the daily spread for those first couple days. And then come like Wednesday or something, I was like, okay, I'm going to use the weekly spread. What I did is I ended up sort of back planning, but I didn't use any stickers. I ended up just doing all pen and just saying, you know what, the point of this planner is it is to be pretty, but like it has to be functional. So I just sat down and I did back plan just to make sure that I was like getting everything filled in and it didn't like look too empty. But for the most part, like I did not decorate it at all, and I just moved on with life. All right, and comments are here. Kayla has shown up. Hey, we're doing a this or that chat. So if you have any like this or that type of questions that you want to pose, go ahead and comment them. Oops, I scrolled the wrong way. Start and move on, or even wait until the next week. Yep, I've done that too. Back plan. Yes, I want the record to look back on. Like to think I'd back plan, but I get lazy. Same. And likely would skip the whole thing. back plan all the time in my memory planner, work planner, not so much. See, that it's easier to back plan in a memory planner because that's kind of like the whole idea behind the memory planner anyway. So that kind of makes it a little bit easier. But yeah, I definitely will, for the most part, move on. Oops, scrolling again. I would just use pen, no stickers. Yeah, so that's what I did that week too. I'm going with water today, not tea. I forgot to make my tea in time. Okay, so here's another question, kind of on the same general topic. You haven't touched your planner in a week or a few weeks. Do you fill in the missing spreads, or do you just leave those weeks blank? And for this, I'm going back to my social media planner, again, my regular weekly social media planner, 2 weeks ago. And then once, I think over last summer, I didn't decorate a spread at all. I just left it blank. I feel like for my regular planner, I probably would go back in and decorate it, just because it would probably bother me in that planner. But honestly, I think depending on the circumstances of why I wasn't able to decorate that planner. So here we go. So Holly says that she would just leave them blank. Like some of these questions, I was thinking like, oh, I hate myself for asking these questions. So Gail would leave them blank too. And like, if I were to go and put the stickers down, I probably would not film it. And that's actually something else that happened to me last month. And I think it was just last month. I think it was in February. It might have been January. I feel like it was February. I did not have a chance to sit down and film decorating my one spread. And I was just like, you know what? I sat down. It was Monday morning. And I was like, I'm just going to decorate this for me. And I sat there at the kitchen table while the Zooms were going and everything, just putting down my stickers and my washi tape and just kind of having fun with it and getting it done. What is happening over here? All right, so let's get into some fun non-planner related this or that's. Candy or ice cream? I would have to pick ice cream, I think. And I feel like that's probably because of growing up on the beach. That was actually one of my summer jobs when I was a kid. Not like, when you were like in high school, kid. I worked at an ice cream shop. I was just telling my kids the story about this the other day. Yeah, I think it was yesterday. I don't think it was today. I worked starting at 10 a.m. and not many people want ice cream at 10 o'clock in the morning. So it was always pretty slow, but also one of the things is nobody, like, the store itself was open because it was also a restaurant. But I was the first ice cream shift in, and I had to taste test the soft serve machines to make sure that, like, it hadn't spoiled. And that was usually a really awesome day, like an awesome job for me to do each day. I think there was like twice that summer where it was not an awesome time for me. So Tamika says ice cream. Kayla says candy. Gail says candy. Patsy says ice cream. Ruth is ice cream. I just ate some Halo Top. So I don't even know if I mentioned this. Oh yeah, I did, because he texted me that I turned the light off. So my husband got DoorDash, and I made chicken pot pie for dinner, but he likes it, but not like a whole lot. But he ate a lot of the raw pie dough. So he wasn't hungry for dinner, but now he's hungry at 9 o'clock at night. And he asked me if I wanted anything. I'm like, no, I'm full, because it's one of my favorites. I had entirely too much of the dinner. And I was like, oh, maybe I want a milkshake. But I actually ended up not getting a milkshake. If I did, I'd have it right now. But yeah, I ice cream all the way. And here's another one. Cookies or brownies? Brownies, I think I would have to go with it. Like, cookies are easier to make, and I make them much more, like, often. But brownies, there's just something about a hot brownie from the oven. Oh, it's so good. So good. And then I don't have this as an official this or that question, but are you, for brownies, are you edge piece or are you center piece? I'm center. I don't like the edges. That brownie pan where it's like all edges, every piece is an edge. Why? Nope. Don't want that. Nope. Don't like that. Let's see. Everything is like coming in batches. So Gail is team brownies. Nellie is brownies. And Kayla, cookies. Yes, hot chocolate chip cookies where like the chip is still like melty. I remember in high school, the first high school that I went to, because we moved halfway through for me, the first high school I went to would always make fresh cookies. And I would wait for them to say that the cookies were done for our lunch hour. And I would go and I'd get the cookies, and they were always still gooey. They were always slightly undercooked. They were so good. Nobody ever did brownies, though. Brownies smushed with vanilla ice cream. Yes. I would go to Cold Stone before we moved here. We had a Cold Stone that wasn't too far away. And I would always get their brownie sundae. Sorry, my hair is like, I don't even know. I would always get the brownie sundae from Cold Stone, and I would use their sweet cream ice cream, which is, it's basically like a vanilla, but it's a slightly different variation. It's so good. So good, because then the vanilla ice cream gets a little melty. Brookies. It's this or that. This or that. You can't combine the two. That's cheating. Oh no! Gail, you're team edge. Okay, but Kayla's center, so she gets me. And so does Nellie. I don't like the hard part. I love it to be completely soft. Hi, Pepper. Yeah, hi, baby. She just keeps coming and going. Yeah, good girl. I worked at Cold Stone before. What they do is like so awesome, just sitting there doing that. And there's this place at the Inner Harbor called Marble Slab, which is like, you know, a knockoff version of Cold Stone. But Marble Slab was good too. When I would go down to the Inner Harbor, I would but I would go and get ice cream there too. But Brookies, I'm not saying they're not amazing. I'm just saying the rules of the game. Let's see. Okay. I think this is the last food one. Cake or pie? Hold on, we had another comment. Holly, we're going to need a recipe video for Brookies. Yeah, I'm going to second that. All right, so cake or pie? Cakes are too dry for me. Even like the, warning, moist. I know a lot of people don't like that word. Even the moist cakes, I feel like they're still too dry. And as I've gotten older, I can't handle all the icing I would need to compensate. So I have to go pie. Both cookies. You guys are breaking the rules of this or that. Cookies and brownies. Okay, well, at least you picked one over here. So you picked cake. Gail's picking cake. Kayla is pie. Patsy, chocolate cake with what? Yes, if I had to pick a cake, it would be chocolate cake and white icing. When we buy cakes for our birthdays, we always get them from Wegmans, and I get their whipped cream icing. The whipped cream icing is so good because it's not like overly sweet, and it's so soft and fluffy. It's so good. What's Ruth saying? My dad makes the best pie, but cake is the best. I can't answer this question. You mean you can't follow the rules to answer this question? Gotta be good buttercream. Yeah, some of them, it's like, like I've had some buttercream icings that are kind of like chalky is the only way that I can really describe it. Like it's very like powdery. I don't even know. It's not good buttercream icing. You have to get it right. Nellie says cake. Yeah, the reason why I thought about this is I made chicken pot pie for dinner, and I know that it's only the 11th, but I could not help myself. I don't know if you're going to be able to see this or not, but I cut the pie symbol into the pie today because Pie Day is in 3 days, and I'm not going, and this year I was like, I'm going to make a pie for Pie Day. I did not plan that properly. I'm not going to want to make another pie, but yeah, so that's what stemmed this is I had pot pie for dinner tonight, and then I have to make a cake next week for my daughter's birthday. She wants red velvet cake with cream cheese icing. Did see that one. Can't answer this question. Good butter cake. Okay, here we go. Apple pie with chocolate ice cream. I have not tried chocolate ice cream. I have tried, like, I love having apple pie with vanilla ice cream. Like, that is a must for me. And I have to heat it up just a little bit just so that the vanilla ice cream starts to melt a little bit. Whipped cream icing. Yeah, whipped cream icing is my favorite. I love that. Yeah, so I'm going to have to make, and I'm just going to do the box cake for my daughter's birthday next week. Red velvet cake and jarred cream cheese icing. I have a regular white icing that I make. Okay. So, here's a fun one. Chipmunks or squirrels? Because I just couldn't help myself. Oh, on. What we have here. Have you made your bacon quiche lately? My husband is still super happy I copied that recipe. So, no. It's probably been since Jam, so like 2 months, probably. I'm considering making it on the next grocery run, actually. I was making my menu for that. All the stores no longer sell the bags of shredded Swiss cheese. And Swiss cheese doesn't come as like a regular block, so we have to buy like the expensive stuff. So it's like $16 for a block of Swiss cheese, or maybe I'm thinking of the Parmesan cheese. I don't know, but it's crazy expensive now for us. So I have not made it lately. Squirrels. Squirrels. I am Team Chipmunk Polar. No! They're so cute and sweet. I love them both, but I it's got to be chipmunks. The chipmunks let me pet them. I still have not been able to pet the squirrels. I've gotten probably about half a dozen of them to take the peanuts from my hand. But the chipmunks will actually come and sit in my hand and eat and let me pet them, and I can pick them up. So I am Team Chipmunk. Thanks for joining, Nellie. And Holly's chipmunks. Dig, dig, dig. It aerates the soil. It's also good because, like, when it's not your yard, like, it helps to reforestation. But I love them both. They're so sweet. I can't wait to have my little Ella out and about some more. So, yeah. Especially since I had on my chipmunk shirt today, you guys had to have expected that somehow chipmunks were going to come into today's chat. All right, so here's something that's not food and not chipmunk related. Are you an early bird or are you a night owl? I remember, I'm not on Facebook anymore, but I remember when I was on Facebook, there was a meme going around that was, I'm not an early bird or a night owl. I'm a perpetually in purgatory pigeon who's always tired. And I feel like I would be the pigeon. But since it's early bird or night owl, I think I'm going to have to go with night owl. There. My voice cracked. They're both cute and funny. You don't see, oh my gosh. That is so sad. I love chipmunks. Definitely a night owl. We're at 4:30. that reminds me of the time that I was working at Baltimore Airport, and my shift started at 5:30 in the morning. And it's funny because the week before that, my shift ended at midnight. So I went from working the 2 to midnight shift and then ended up switching to 5:30 in the morning to 3:30. And the airport without traffic was an hour away, so it would take me an hour in the morning. I'd get up at 3:30, get out of the house by 4:30 to get there by 5:30. And then coming home, since it was 3:30, rush hour was just starting, so it would take me an hour and a half to get home. During actual rush hour, though, and there were a couple times where I worked the traditional shift, it was a 2+ hour one-way commute. So I would spend 4 to 5 hours a day in the car driving back and forth to work. Night owl if I have to choose. Early bird. In fact, yeah, I was really surprised when you were the first person to comment and say that you were here, because I know that you usually tuck in early because just like Holly and teaching and everything, you guys get up on the early side. Early bird coffee. Yeah, that's the only thing that gets me up. My husband is amazing, and every night before we go to bed, he always makes sure that he sets the coffee pot up for me and sets the timer so that it starts right about 10 minutes before my alarm goes off, and it's done brewing by the time I get downstairs. And I'm able to just go downstairs, I get the cat fed, and then after I feed the cat is right around when the coffee pot stops. And that buzzer is the sweetest thing at 6:32 in the morning, hearing that the coffee is ready for me. Sharpie is trying to, oh, poor Sharpie. He's a sleepy little guy. Let's see. Okay, here's another one. Summer or winter? I am summer all the way, especially given the beach. Love summer. I love the heat. 90-degree weather does not bother me at all, but I hate to be cold. And sometimes in winter, it doesn't matter how many blankets I'm under, how many big fluffy jackets and everything that I have on, I just cannot stay warm. So I am team summer. I think you might be doing that glitch. There we go. Yep, 3 of them popped up all at once. Summer. Patsy says summer. Hate the cold. Yeah, same. And it's funny because my husband loves the cold. And he's been known to go outside just to shovel snow in shorts. And I'm like, nope. Summer, I hate the winter commute. Yeah, I mean, you don't really have, bad weather-related commutes and, weather, driving issues in summer. I mean, there can be a torrential downpour, but it's not, it's not as bad as, a blizzard. And, people drive worse in snow than they do in rain. Move to Australia as the summers are great. I feel like Australia summers would be super hot. But it's probably really dry down there too, so it might not be terribly unbearable, kind of like Vegas. That could be good. I've never been to Australia. I have only left the country one time. I was 3. So my memory of leaving the country is very shaky. And we only went to Canada, to Niagara Falls, and that was it. And my biggest memory from that trip is being on that boat, the Maid of the Mist, I think it's called, in the poncho, and it not raining, but all the mist, screaming because the water was getting in my face, and I didn't like that. So that's my story of leaving the country. Our winters are good compared to yours. Probably more mild. Ours are unpredictable. We can have snow, I've had snow as early as October. I remember the one year, I can't get comfortable. The one year I remember taking my daughter trick or treating, and she had on her little princess shoes, and there was snow on the ground. So she was trick or treating in the snow. Um, and then I don't think that it was last year. I don't think it was 2020. I think it was 2019. It snowed the weekend before Mother's Day. So we can have snow from October all the way through to May. It's dry heat, not humid, unless you're in Queensland. Yeah. The humidity is what like really makes it feel like worse. When it's dry, like you can't quite notice it. Like it's not as heavy on your body. But like when it's humid, yeah, it is heavy. Let's lighten this up a little bit. Fall or spring? This, like when I was writing this one, it's literally 3 words. I knew this was going to be a hard one because like they're kind of similar, but I have to go with spring. There's just something about the fact that even though like temperature wise it's pretty comparable to fall, the fact that it's like heating up, because again I like summer, and it's just like it's the beginning, makes me so excited. And then all the flowers are just really pretty, and then just like the excitement of finally like hearing the birds starting to chirp when you haven't heard them all winter long. Like there's just so much newness. Fall is so beautiful though, and it is a nice relief from some of like the hotter summer days, but it also means that winter is inevitable. Let's see. So Patsy is fall. Ruth is fall. Love to decorate the house for fall. Yeah, I don't decorate at all for spring. I have occasionally pulled out some fall decorations. I feel like fall is easier to decorate, and I definitely like the fall colors better, like those nice deep rich jewel tone colors of fall. But yeah, overall spring is mine. Fall, I am highly outnumbered right now. I do love gardening though, but I made my choice playing by the rules. Yeah, it's the whole idea of gardening and planting flowers. I need to do a vegetable garden at some point again because those were fun. But I do like being able to go out and do the gardening, whereas fall brings leaves. And at first it's not so bad, but our 2 oak trees in the back are like 40 years old, and they have all the branches and all the leaves to go with it. And it can get highly overwhelming really quickly. I do St. Patrick's Day, then Easter. St. Patrick's Day gets highly ignored in our house because the next day is my daughter's birthday. So it's just kind of like a roadblock. Like, so it's more like her birthday eve and not St. Patrick's Day. But I mean, we don't decorate for birthdays though. All right, beach or mountains? This one's hard, but I think I have to go with beach. They're both really beautiful, and like from a scenic perspective, I love them, but there's more for me to do and more for me to enjoy at the beach. Because I'm I get it now. I get it. That's a good one. Okay, Gail says beach too. Yeah, I just love the beach. It's so calming and like all the sounds. I definitely have to go beach. Gosh, it's 9:40 already. We've been doing this for 40 minutes. I'm having fun with you guys though. Hold on. Yeah, this one really was a hard one. Because like I live sort of by mountains now. Like I look out from my driveway and I just see a mountain landscape. And I had to go to my daughter's school today to drop off some paperwork. And as I came out of her building, it's just a view of the mountains. And it's so pretty. And I slowed down. I didn't want to just stop because I was on school property, and like just stopping and lingering is probably frowned upon. But I did walk a little bit slower just so that I could enjoy seeing the mountains. But yeah, having to pick, I'd go beach. Haven't actually been to the mountain. Okay, I'm going to sound so stupid. I kind of thought that there were mountains by you, like not a whole lot, but I figured that it was like the other side of the Appalachians and like maybe some of the hills. Like I'm not talking Rocky Mountains or the Andes or the Alps or anything. Like nothing like really truly majestic. Because like I said, I'm in Pennsylvania, so my mountains are small by comparison. But yeah, I definitely thought that you had mountains. Indiana's. I didn't want to come out and say Indiana in case you weren't comfortable with me saying your state. But yeah, I can't sit still. But yeah, I definitely thought that you had something like the beach prefer the lake. I mean, lakes kind of have like a beachy type area, so that's kind of the best of both worlds. I live in the mountains. Yes, that I knew. And I already clicked on that one. Lots of corn, majestic corn. When I lived in Maryland, we lived in like cow country, and there were just cows everywhere. And it was, I remember the one time when I was working at the rental car place, and someone came in because they needed a car because theirs was damaged. And one of the things that we had to do is just have like casual conversation, because like we literally would go and drive and pick the person up from wherever it was that they were stuck at, whether they were stuck home because they didn't have a car, they were stuck at the body shop. So naturally conversation comes up and it's like, oh, well, what happened? Their car got rammed by a cow. So they needed a rental car. Well, their car got fixed from being hit by a cow. So that was fun. And Holly's in Kentucky. Yeah, we've got, I think the majority of the team is East Coast. I think Tamika might be the furthest west. I'm trying to think off the top of my head. But yeah, I think that's the furthest we go. All right, so here we go. Netflix or YouTube. So we've gone back and forth with having and canceling Netflix. So I'm definitely team YouTube for this. I don't know. I like watching planner videos. I have started to get into watching some Animal Crossing videos because I've been playing Animal Crossing. But yeah, don't really do a whole lot of Netflix. I'm trying to, what? We have been watching Netflix a lot lately, though. We've been into Blacklist. That one is a good one. So Patsy watches both. Kayla's YouTube. Something else just popped up. Ruth is both. Yeah, it's hard. Because, like, if I had to pick one or the other, I think I'd have to go YouTube. Because we don't have, like, cable or anything. We use YouTube TV also. So we have YouTube for, like, multiple things. Like, this YouTube and then the regular YouTube channels, because they have like all of the channels that we would normally watch. Like they've got your basic cable, and you know, like they have NBC and ABC, and they have the sports channels that we watch, and we watch Shark Week because they have Discovery. So they've got a ton. Midwest Kayla. YouTube if I'm entertaining myself. Yeah, like the kids use Netflix more than I do, so Tamika is Netflix. Suddenly, we are a YouTube family, but Blacklist is good. It is, we just finished season 5, and we are kind of digesting that before we jump into season 6. We're pretty confused right now, and we just keep like speculating back and forth, so we'll probably watch more this weekend and get back into it. It wasn't yesterday because we watched Hunger Games with the kids. So it was Tuesday is when we finished season 5. I have not seen that. I thought it was on Hulu. And then yesterday, while we had it, not yesterday, the other day, whatever day it was. I think we said that was Tuesday. Well, we had Blacklist pause. You know how like the screensaver comes up for like other shows that they have, and I saw Schitt's Creek was on there. I'm like, thought it was on Hulu. So that's what we will probably be watching after we finish Blacklist, because I want to see it, but I don't want to kind of like, I'm the same way with a book. Like I don't want to read 2 different books at the same time. So I don't want to have 2 different series going at the same time. So that's next on my list. I forgot. Did you all finish? Last night, we finished the last one yesterday. It was my movie pick night, and I was like, I want to get this done. Yeah, the second Mockingjay was probably my least favorite out of the 4 movies. I don't know which one was my favorite, but yeah, it was kind of predictable. Like, I kind of saw that ending coming. But, I mean, like, I wouldn't have wanted it to be any other ending, though. Overall, like, I know I want to borrow the books from my daughter. She had gotten the trilogy for Christmas. So I want to borrow them from her so I can read it and see. Because they can't put everything into the movies. We did start Ozark. And before the last time that we ended up canceling it, because our account was hacked and they wiped everything and stole our card information. So that was fun. And Netflix was like, oh, we're sorry, we can't actually secure your account anymore. And we're like, what? So that wasn't fun. But we had started Ozark because we loved Breaking Bad, and we figured that Ozark would be a good next step, but then we ended up going into Blacklist. Ozark is good too. Bridgerton. I've only just started hearing about that one very recently. I have no idea really what that's about. Is that one also Netflix? Oops, what did I click on? All right, so here's another question. Music or podcasts? I'm not really a podcast person, so I would have to pick music. It's funny because, like, one of the reasons why I want to borrow the books from my daughter is because listening, I can't quite catch everything, and a lot of times, like, I can't process those things that I am catching, whereas with books, like, it's easier for me. So I've actually never even tried podcasts because I feel like it would be too difficult for me to follow. So Gayla's music, Kayla's music, Patsy's music. I don't know if Holly is still here. Oh no, she is, and she is music. Holly, if you said anything other than music, I think I would have been beyond shocked. Spoiler, Holly's a music teacher. Ruth is music. Okay, so everybody's music. What about this? Flip-flops or slides? I don't know why, but I go flip-flops. I always, like, you would think that the thing in between your toes would bother me, but I think that flip-flops, they just kind of go with more things, whereas slides to me are on the, like, sportier side. So Holly's flip-flops and Patsy's flip-flops. Nope. Haven't done martial arts. Gail's flip-flops. Okay, so everybody's flip-flops too. Alright. This is the last question that I have, and this is good. It's almost 10 o'clock. We've been at this for almost an hour. This one is just for fun. Apple bottom jeans or boots with the fur? I couldn't help myself. That one actually was, after doing the flip-flops and slides, I was like, oh, I should do flats or boots with the fur. And then as I was like getting ready to tape it out, I'm such a mom. It's a mom joke. I couldn't help myself. I had to make it apple bottom jeans or boots with the fur. Boots with the fur. I'm no jeans. No, thank you. I'm in leggings and comfy pants all the time. Give me the boots with the fur. The whole club was looking at her. I can't even handle this. Boots with the fur. Oh, it's a song. It's a song from, I think, about 2007-ish, maybe 06. But yeah, it was a song that was apple bottom jeans, boots with the fur. The whole club was looking at her. She hit the floor. Next thing you know, shorty got low, 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 low. I just sang. That's a thing. Boots. Apple bottom jeans. I think it was an actual brand of jeans, but I will never be able to take it seriously because of the song. Low, low. This is so fun. I have to get to bed. Thanks for joining us, Kayla. Yeah, I never said that I could sing. I play flute. If you pick up something musical, if you can't sing, you play an instrument. I have to go. Thanks for joining us, Ruth. Oh my gosh, I love that song. It's so fun. Pink Secret remix called Apple Bottom Jeans. Oh, did it smell like an apple pie? Because I feel like it had to have some sort of like an apple pie smell to it. Oh, I should have like a closing out banner, but I don't. But that's it. Those are all of the questions. That was a really fun way to end this, though. Singing Apple Bottom. That was Flo Rida, right? I think it was. I would play the song, but then I would end up getting flagged for copyright. So hopefully my terrible rendition of it doesn't flag me for copyright issues. I didn't think about that before I started singing, but that just gives me a reason to not sing anymore because I could be copyrighted. But yeah, so that's going to do it for the chat today. I had fun. I don't know what I'm going to do next week for the theme. So if you have any theme ideas, let me know. Next Thursday is my daughter's birthday. And it's funny because like even though she's turning 13, she still has a bedtime of 8:30 because like she's middle school, so she has to get up early. And I want her to get in the habit of like getting a like full night's sleep. So we still put her to bed early. And I typically don't have my kids on screens and stuff, but like, I don't know. Might have her just kind of like hang out and sit off camera and interject. So we will see. Have a great night. Glad to be in with you all. I'm glad you were able to join us too. That was a fun game. Yeah, it was fun. I'll have to see if I could come up with any other games that we can play. This is nice, just kind of hanging out and playing games with you guys. So, all right, that is going to do it today, and I will see you all next Thursday.